The reality of home ownership in 2026 is becoming quite uncomfortable. Most people today struggle to afford a basic roof over their heads. We need to analyze the hard numbers very carefully. Whether you want a $250,000 starter home or a $2 million estate, the math is difficult. Today, I will show you exactly what you can afford right now. Things have shifted dramatically in a very short period of time. Mortgage rates have stabilized around the 6% mark recently. Meanwhile, the median price for a home is sitting at roughly $400,000. These economic factors make the journey to ownership much tougher than before. We must look at each price bracket to see where the math lands. Let's start by breaking down the standard rules of the game used by the big banks. You must first understand the primary metric for traditional lenders. Banks almost always use something called the 28/36 rule. This guideline helps them decide if you are a safe bet. It is more about their protection than your personal lifestyle comfort. The rule suggests your mortgage payment stays at 28% of gross pay. For instance, imagine your household brings in $100,000 every year. This means your gross monthly salary is exactly $8,333. When you apply the 28% limit, you get a specific number. Your monthly mortgage target becomes roughly $2,333 in this scenario. Lenders are generally comfortable handing out loans at this specific ratio. They view this as a manageable risk for their own balance sheets. However, qualifying for a loan is not the same as being comfortable. We need to look deeper into what this rule actually covers. There is a major reason why you should be wary of this rule. It completely ignores the hidden costs of actually maintaining a house. Your insurance, property taxes, and general upkeep are often left out of the initial talk. The bank primarily wants to ensure that their monthly check arrives on time. The 36 portion of the rule factors in all your additional debts. This includes your monthly car payments, student loans, and credit card balances. When you combine these with a mortgage, the total must be under 36% of gross pay. If your combined debt exceeds this threshold, getting an approval is nearly impossible. I want to be very clear about one thing regarding this process. Just because a lender approves your application doesn't mean the house is affordable. Mortgage companies don't care if you have enough money left to retire. Their only goal is to minimize their risk of a default. I believe a much more effective strategy exists for your personal budget. You should focus on your net income rather than the gross figure. Aim to keep your total housing costs under 30% of your take-home pay. This net number represents the actual cash that hits your bank account. Using gross income often leads to a false sense of financial security. You might think your household earns $150,000 on paper every year. However, after the government takes its share, you might only see $100,000. Your lifestyle and bills are paid with that smaller actual amount of money. Focusing on net income prevents you from overextending yourself in a volatile market. It is a target to strive for, though it isn't always easy to achieve. In many expensive cities, hitting this 30% mark requires a very high salary. This brings us back to the uncomfortable reality of the current market. Let's begin our deep dive with a $250,000 property, which represents a typical starter home in many parts of the country. To secure this house with a standard 20% down payment, you are going to need $50,000 in liquid cash right away. If that upfront cost feels too steep, you might consider a lower 10% entry point at $25,000, but you must be wary of the hidden traps. Lower down payments trigger private mortgage insurance, or PMI, which is a monthly fee that provides you with absolutely zero benefits. It is strictly a safety net for the bank in case you fail to make your payments, and it lingers until you have built significant equity in the home. For our calculations, we will stick to the 20% scenario to avoid those extra fees. This means you are looking at financing $200,000 over a 30-year term at a 6% interest rate. This brings your base principal and interest to approximately $1,200 every single month. However, that is only the beginning of your financial commitment. Once you factor in property taxes and homeowners insurance, that $1,200 monthly bill quickly climbs to somewhere between $1,500 and $1,700. For the sake of a conservative estimate, let's use $1,600 as our total monthly housing cost. If we follow the bank's 28% gross income rule, your household would need to earn roughly $5,714 annually. But remember, the bank's limit is about their safety, not your lifestyle. To truly afford this home without feeling house poor, we should look at my 30% net income rule. Assuming you take home about 75% of your pay after taxes and deductions, you would actually need a net monthly income of $5,333. To hit that take-home amount, your gross annual salary would need to be closer to $85,000. There is a massive $16,500 gap between what the bank says you can do and what is actually sustainable for a healthy financial life. Living on $68,000 while paying $1,600 for a mortgage leaves very little room for investing, travel, or emergency repairs. Now, let's double the stakes and look at a $500,000 home. This price point is roughly $100,000 above the national median in 2026, meaning you are often looking at a very comfortable family home in a solid neighborhood. For example, in a growing market like Atlanta, Georgia, $500,000 might get you a beautiful 4-bedroom house with modern finishes. However, the barrier to entry here is much higher. A 20% down payment requires $100,000 in cold, hard cash. To put that in perspective, the average American household has less than $10,000 in total savings. This means that most people buying at this level either have significant equity from a previous sale, received an inheritance, or are high-earning dual-income couples. If you manage to clear that $100,000 hurdle, you will be financing a $400,000 loan. At a 6% interest rate, your base monthly payment for principal and interest lands at roughly $2,400. This is where the numbers start to feel very real for the middle class. When you add the inevitable costs of insurance and property taxes, your total monthly output for a $500,000 home will likely sit between $2,800 and $3,000. If you live in a high-tax state like New Jersey or Illinois, you should definitely plan for the higher end of that spectrum. Using $3,000 as our benchmark, the bank's 28% rule suggests you need a gross annual income of roughly $128,500. However, applying the 30% net income rule changes the picture significantly. To keep a $3,000 payment at 30% of your take-home pay, you need to be bringing in $10,000 net every single month. To achieve that level of take-home pay, a household typically needs a gross annual salary of about $160,000. For most Americans, this is no longer a single income territory. It requires two professionals both earning well above the average wage just to live comfortably. Without that $160,000 cushion, a $500,000 home can quickly become a financial prison rather than an asset. Now we have to address the $1 million price tag. In many parts of the country, $1 million buys a sprawling mansion, but if you live in coastal hubs like Seattle, New York, or Miami, it is just a standard property. In my city, $1 million often barely secures a cramped condo. Assuming you put down 20%, you will need to hand over $200,000 in cash before the bank even speaks to you. That leaves you financing an $800,000 mortgage. At our current 6% interest rate, your base payment for principal and interest lands right around $4,796 every single month. And remember, that is just the baseline before the government and insurance companies take their cut. Once you stack on property taxes and comprehensive insurance, your true monthly burden for $1 million home sits roughly between $5,800 and $6,300. Let's use $6,000 as our monthly baseline to keep things clean. Under the bank's traditional 28% rule, your household must generate about $257,000 annually. However, if we apply my 30% net income framework, you need to bring home $20,000 in pure cash every month. Factoring in a 25% tax rate, your gross household income must hit $320,000 a year to live comfortably. National data shows that only about the top 5% of all households earn this kind of money. Furthermore, financing this amount usually requires a jumbo loan, which demands pristine credit, higher reserves, and often a steeper interest rate. Next, we have to look at the staggering reality of a $2 million property. Despite what social media influencers might lead you to believe, barely 2% of households can even dream of participating in this market. To play at this level, a 20% down payment requires you to produce $400,000 in liquid cash. That leaves an absolutely massive mortgage of $1.6 million. Your principal and interest alone will drain $9,593 from your account every month. Once you factor in luxury property taxes, premium insurance, and hefty neighborhood HOA fees, your total monthly cost easily skyrockets to between $12,000 and $13,000. It is an astronomical financial commitment that requires a completely different level of wealth generation. Let's break down exactly what salary supports this elite lifestyle. If we use the bank's 28% standard, you need a combined gross income of roughly $514,000. But to actually breathe easy and follow my 30% net income rule, your household must clear $40,000 in take-home pay every single month. Because you are in a much higher tax bracket, taking a roughly 32% hit, your gross household income needs to be practically $700,000 a year. Achieving this usually means having two top-tier earners, like successful surgeons, corporate executives, or elite attorneys under one roof. At this extreme level, the conversation is no longer about clipping coupons or strict budgeting. It simply comes down to whether your career naturally places you in the absolute highest earning tiers. So, what is the ultimate conclusion we can draw from all this data? Let's do a quick recap of the brutal math we just uncovered together. If you are looking at a basic $250,000 property, you truly need to be earning around $85,000 a year to follow the 30% net income rule safely. Moving further up the ladder, a $500,000 residence requires a household to bring in roughly $160,000 annually. These numbers are substantially higher than what traditional mortgage lenders will tell you during an initial consultation. They clearly highlight the massive difference between merely surviving a mortgage payment and actually living a comfortable financial life. If you stretch yourself too thin just to get the keys, you might end up sacrificing your peace of mind. As we step into the luxury and high cost of living markets, the math becomes even more intense. A $1 million home demands a robust annual income of at least $320,000 if you want to avoid feeling suffocated by your monthly bills. If you are aiming for that ultra-exclusive $2 million estate, your household needs to be generating close to $700,000 a year to maintain true financial peace of mind. These figures represent the stark reality of homeownership in 2026. They are certainly not meant to discourage you, but rather to present a highly accurate picture of what it takes to own property without sacrificing your entire lifestyle or your long-term retirement goals. In my honest observation, the vast majority of Americans are simply not hitting these extreme income milestones. This is the exact root cause of the current affordability crisis we are witnessing across the country today. There is a massive growing gap between what everyday working people are earning and what basic homes actually cost to maintain on a monthly basis. The wages have not kept pace with the explosive growth of property valuations and sustained interest rates. It is a harsh truth to swallow, but understanding this macroeconomic disconnect is the critical first step toward making smarter, more defensive financial decisions for your own future. My ultimate goal with this breakdown is not to fill you with fear or a sense of dread about the real estate market. Instead, I want you to feel completely empowered to run your own specific calculations before making the biggest purchase of your life. Do not let a bank or a commissioned loan officer dictate what is genuinely affordable for your unique situation. Look at your own net take-home pay, account for your personal spending habits, and set a hard boundary that protects your financial freedom. Stay smart with your money. Thanks for watching. See you in the comments.